Hi, Sam here, founder of As Good As Your Mind, and today we're going to be talking about how you can control your mind for better results. This video is going to be a very powerful video because you're going to finally see how you can start to control your mind to achieve better results. And this video is part of my pillar 2 within the method, the boss effect. Now, what most ambitious, stressed out souls do when operating from the primitive mind is habitually live in a place of their fears and limitations, habits that don't serve them, and can often operate from a place where they're frequently negatively forecasting how they think things are going to go and ruminating on how things have gone. They often display emotions that can range from anger, frustration, sadness, worry, and these emotions are often well hidden to the outside world, likely displayed at home with their partners, their children, and those closest to them. So this video is going to fix all of that so you can move from the ambitious, stressed out soul to an absolute boss. Said differently, the blissed out, successful soul, stepping into your full potential and creating the life and success that you desire in full alignment with who you are at your core. So step 1 is first having a high level overview of how your mind works and why it works the way that it does. Put simply, we have one brain but two minds. The first mind is the conscious logical mind, the part of you that you know as you, the part of you that interacts with the world, and the part of you that you are using to be aware of your interactions with me here today. This mind is attached to a vast intellectual resource that gives us the ability to become anything that we want to become, which is unique to us as human beings. Now, when we operate from this brain, we generally tend to get things right in life. It comes up with answers based on proper assessments of situations and is very positive. There is, however, another part to your brain, the original primitive mind, which houses the reptilian and mammalian part of your brain. Now, the centre and influential part of this mind is the amygdala, and this is generally referred to as the flight, fight, freeze area of your brain. And this is associated with two very other primitive parts, the hippocampus, which holds all of our primitive and sometimes inappropriate behavioural experiences and patterns, and the hypothalamus, which regulates the chemical responses in our body and in our mind. So let's imagine that you leave your house today and you're greeted with, I don't know, a grizzly bear. What would happen? Your anxiety would shoot up, you'd lose intellectual control, you'd have a surge of adrenaline, heart rate would increase, stomach would churn, and within a millisecond, your body would be ready to run. And we can thank our primitive minds for this reaction. It's done its job to keep us safe, away from danger and vulnerability, and it's acted accordingly, so good job. However, it reacts in the same way in life, whether it's love, money, business, visibility, opportunities. When our anxiety goes up, and it can be a gradual process, we lose intellectual control. Primitive mind takes over and wants to avoid potential threat or danger to our well-being, our happiness, our comfort. This mind is negative, it's vigilant, it's obsessional, and it scans everything to keep you away from anything that could make you feel like crap, even if you consciously know it's good for you. And because it's not an intellect, it can't be innovative, so it refers to previous patterns of behaviour. If what we did yesterday ensured our survival, then we're encouraged to do it again. So for those of you that have avoided things like visibility and opportunities, there's nothing wrong with you. Your mind has avoided something and it's programmed to now continue to avoid it. Now, of course, the benefit to understanding this is I think we can so often blame ourselves for who we are and why we are the way that we are. But we can clearly see, for the most part, it's been our brain's way of protecting us, even if we know logically it's good for us. Now, if you're anything like my past students, you can release yourself of that belief that something is wrong with you. Step 2. Now we understand the basics of how the mind works from a primitive and logical level. we need to understand what drives us to operate from the mind that really isn't conducive to our success or living our best lives. Every negative thought we have is converted into anxiety, whether it's negatively forecasting about things that haven't happened yet or ruminating about the past. And every negative thought we have is accumulated and stored in what I like to call the stress bucket or the shit bucket. Now, this bucket is pretty good at holding these things, but like most things, it's got a certain capacity. And when we reach that capacity, this is when it can start to cause issues. Now, thankfully, as humans, we have a way of keeping on top of maintaining that level of stress within our bucket, and it's called REM, rapid eye movement. It's a part of our sleep where we rerun the events of the day, change them from an emotional memory to a narrative memory, a memory that we actually have control over, so we can awaken each day feeling good about our life. But the sad truth is, this doesn't happen for many people, as they have too much piling into their bucket. And for one reason or another, REM is only restricted to around 20% of our sleep pattern. And this is how certain teachings of my method within the Boss Effect really helps with this unique problem, because we gain back personal power by reducing what goes into that bucket and work on changing perspectives. And we also reduce anxiety and stress through the subconscious energetic design, so you can control your mind and operate from the best version of you more frequently. Now, the benefit to understanding this information is we can be far more deliberate about the thoughts we choose to give power to, knowing that it's far more than just a negative thought. And this isn't about toxic positivity, it's about being more consciously aware of what we choose to believe with power, so we can get back into the driving seat of feeling a way that's conducive to being a blissed out successful soul, something that I guide my clients through my one-to-one program and my signature group coaching program. Lastly, step 3 is understanding the responsibility we have in generating the right chemicals in our bodies to produce the desired results that we want. Now, back in the day, early man and early woman were given quite definite rewards for carrying out certain evolutionary processes. They got a reward when they hunted and gathered and successfully supported themselves and their families. They got rewarded when they interacted with others. The reward made them feel motivated, helped them cope, made them braver, and even helped them with physical pain. The reward, unfortunately, wasn't booze or chocolate. It was a chemical response in the brain that got various neurotransmitters and acted as a catalyst towards that mentally healthy behaviour. And the neurotransmitter I'm talking about most, because it's the most important, is serotonin. Now, when we produce a constant flow of serotonin, we're happy, brave powerhouses. So we need to operate within these parameters, and whilst we may not have to go out and hunt and gather, whatever floats your boat, we do have to think in a positive way, interact in a positive way, and be active in a positive way. Now, of course, the benefit here is for most of us is knowing that we are in control of being able to produce the chemicals in our bodies that make us feel good. So no matter our circumstances, we can always come from an empowered place. But this isn't the only piece of the puzzle that requires you to go from that ambitious, stressed out soul to a blissed out, successful soul. There are going to be so many other invisible forces at play that are going to be capping your potential and stopping you from truly creating the life and success you desire. This little subject is just one of many out of my 4-pillar method, the Boss Effect, which I take my students and my clients through in either my group coaching program or my one-to-one VIP offer. Now, are you ready to go from a stressed out soul to a blissed out, successful soul, creating the life and the success that you truly desire and deserve without resistance? Well, DM me the word BOSS, and let's get talking about how I can help you make that happen.